Welcome to This Week This Morning, the weekly video that gets you up to speed on the week's most important developments for your business and your taxes. The so-called Votearama has just completed in the Senate, which concludes the budget resolution process, as both the Senate and House have now passed their own resolutions. Lawmakers on both sides offered up a number of amendments to the budget resolution, which is quickly narrowing down what we're going to see become law from President Biden's Rescue America plan. So yeah, if you were wondering, the next stimulus is not going to be passed on a bipartisan basis. Democrats will be using the budget reconciliation process, which only requires a simple majority, which they have, to pass. If you didn't see our episode on January 15th, check out our YouTube channel, as that has all of the specifics on what Democrats are trying to get passed on this latest round of stimulus and relief legislation. So here's what you need to know about where things currently stand, particularly in regard to what has changed from the original proposal from the Biden team. Number one, the $15 an hour minimum wage was shot down. Why? The economy simply can't afford that sort of shock to the system at this point of the pandemic. And even Bernie Sanders knows this, as he stated that Democrats want to raise it over several years. The current federal minimum wage is, after all, currently $7.25 an hour. The measure isn't totally dead, but an amendment was passed that bans increases to the minimum wage during the pandemic. The Democrats currently are aiming to add a measure to the final bill that would raise the minimum wage over 5 years, presumably to the inflation-adjusted equivalent of $15 an hour. Number two, the $1,400 direct stimulus checks will be targeted to lower-income Americans as compared to the previous stimulus checks. What exactly the income limits would be are unclear, but it is clear that the next round of checks will exclude some of those that received the first two checks. Also, undocumented immigrants are specifically excluded from receiving these checks. And number three, one of the only amendments that had bipartisan support was for restaurants. It's clear that no matter what side of the aisle you're on, everybody loves to eat out. So what remains ahead is for the House and the Senate to reconcile their resolutions, which is why, after all, it's called budget reconciliation. This will include 20 hours of debate followed by another Votearama before a final vote in both chambers. The last time this happened was when the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act was passed at the end of 2017. This time, it's the Democrats' turn at bat, and they're swinging for the fences. That's all for now. See you next week.